Welcome to today's Catholic Daily Readings from Christus Dominus Bread of Life. A reading from the book of Exodus. And Moses returned from the mountain, carrying the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, written on both sides and accomplished by the work of God. Also, the writing of God was engraved on the tablets. Yet truly Joshua, hearing the sound of the people shouting, said to Moses, "The sound of battle is heard in the camp." But he responded, "It is not a cry of exhortation, nor a cry of lamentation, but I hear the sound of singing." And when he had approached to the camp, he saw the calf and the dances. And being very angry, he threw the tablets from his hand, and he broke them at the base of the mountain. And seizing the calf which they had made, he burned it and crushed it, even to dust, which he scattered into the water. And he gave it to the sons of Israel to drink. And he said to Aaron, "What did this people do to you, so that you would bring upon them the greatest sin?" And Aaron responded, "Let not my Lord be angry, for you know this people, that they are inclined to evil. They said to me, 'Make us gods who may go before us.' For this Moses, who led us away from the land of Egypt, we do not know what has befallen him. And so I said to them, 'Whoever has gold, let him bring it to me.' And they gave it to me, and I cast it into the fire, and this calf came out. Then on the following day Moses said to the people, 'You have sinned the greatest sin. I will ascend to the Lord. Perhaps in some way I might be able to entreat him for your crime.' And returning to the Lord, he said, 'I beg you, this people has sinned a great sin, and they have made for themselves gods of gold. Either forgive them this trespass, or if you will not, then delete me from the book that you have written.' And the Lord responded to Moses, 'Whoever has sinned against me, him I will delete from my book. But as for you, go and lead this people where I have told you. My angel will go before you, but on the day of retribution I will also visit their sin upon them."
Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. Our fathers made a calf in Horeb and adored a molten image. They exchanged their glory for the image of a grass-eating bullock. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. They forgot the God who had saved them, who had done great deeds in Egypt, wondrous deeds in the land of Ham, terrible things at the Red Sea. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. Then He spoke of exterminating them, but Moses, His chosen one, withstood Him in the breach to turn back His destructive wrath. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. He proposed another parable to them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field. It is indeed the least of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is greater than all the plants, and it becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and dwell in its branches." He spoke another parable to them. "The kingdom of heaven is like leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of flour until it was entirely leavened." All these things Jesus spoke in parables to the crowds, and he did not speak to them without a parable, so that what was spoken through the prophet might be fulfilled, saying, "I will open my mouth in parables. I will proclaim what has been hidden from the foundation of the world." Join us for today's reflection. The worst excuse in human history might be this one: "I threw the gold into the fire and out came this calf." Aaron actually said this to Moses with a straight face, as if a golden idol just spontaneously materialized from the flames, as if he had absolutely nothing to do with shaping, forming, and presenting it to the people as their new God. It's the kind of excuse that makes you wonder if Aaron thought Moses was born yesterday. That's exactly what Moses faced when he came down Mount Sinai carrying the 10 Commandments. He'd been meeting with God for 40 days, receiving the blueprint for a holy nation. He returns to find the Israelites worshiping a golden calf, drunk and out of control, throwing away everything God had just promised them. Moses was so furious he smashed the stone tablets at the foot of the mountain. The very words of God, written by God's own finger, shattered into pieces because of human failure. It should have been the end of the story. Game over. Project terminated. Instead, it became the beginning of something even greater. When Moses confronts Aaron about this disaster, Aaron gives the lamest response imaginable: complete denial of responsibility for something he obviously orchestrated. But here's what's remarkable: Moses doesn't give up on them. The next day, he goes back up the mountain and offers to have his own name blotted out of God's book if God won't forgive the people. This is leadership. This is love. This is what it looks like when someone refuses to let failure have the final word. Jesus understood this principle when he told the parable of the mustard seed and the yeast. The kingdom of heaven starts small, often in the midst of spectacular failure, and grows into something magnificent that nobody saw coming. A tiny mustard seed becomes a large bush where birds make their nests. A small amount of yeast works through 3 measures of flour until the whole batch rises. These aren't stories about smooth, predictable growth. These are stories about transformation that happens even when everything seems hopeless. The golden calf incident looked like the end of Israel's relationship with God, but it actually became the foundation for a deeper understanding of grace, forgiveness, and God's persistent love for imperfect people. The broken tablets were replaced with new ones. The failed people were forgiven and recommissioned. The project that seemed destroyed was rebuilt on an even stronger foundation. This is how God works. He takes our spectacular failures and uses them as raw material for something better. He takes our worst mistakes and transforms them into opportunities for deeper grace. The psalm captures this perfectly. Even though it recounts Israel's failure with the golden calf, it begins and ends with praise. "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good," not when you're good, but because he is good regardless of your performance. Your failed relationships, your broken dreams, your shattered plans, your golden calf moments where you chose the wrong thing and everything fell apart. These aren't the end of your story. They're the raw material God uses to create something better than you originally imagined. Moses came down the mountain expecting to find a holy people ready to receive God's law. Instead, he found chaos, rebellion, and idolatry. But he didn't walk away. He interceded. He fought for them. He refused to let their failure define their future. The kingdom of heaven really does work like yeast in dough. It starts small, often hidden, frequently in the midst of what looks like failure. But it keeps working, quietly transforming everything it touches, until suddenly something magnificent emerges from what seemed like disaster. Your spectacular failures aren't the end of God's plan for your life. They're the beginning of a deeper story about grace, transformation, and the God who specializes in making beautiful things out of broken pieces.